This is Ashton Marcus, and I'm on location at Two Roads Theater for the opening of Sex, Faith, and Jason Wexler. Hi, this is Ashton Marcus with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and I'm here with
Dan Frischman. I'm an actor, writer, director, best known for my work on the TV show Head of the Class, where I played the nerdy Arvid. Also was on another series called Kenan and Kel, where I played Chris, the store owner. Also have directed for Nickelodeon and wrote this play, Sex, Faith, and Jason Wexler.
Why did you decide to write this play?
You know, this is autobiographical. Maybe already 17 years ago, I had a relationship with a beautiful Catholic woman whose father was a deacon with the church, and I was a nice Jewish boy, and I ran into the same problems, comedic and otherwise, that Jason Wexler runs into as well in this play, and I felt it was something that I wanted to explore on my own, and I started writing just scenes from it to put up in an acting class. And eventually it became a play, and it kind of took on its own life. And I feel that it has a good, it's funny, of course, number one, and it has a good point to it about commitment and going after what you want, but in a smart way.
I actually like this play a lot, because it dealt with an issue that was very deep, and because it is religious and spiritual, that it demands a tremendous amount of respect. So I liked it a lot.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. What I always loved to do, as I was originally a stand-up comic, first a magician actually at kids' parties, but then an improv player. So I really like, first of all and foremost, getting the laughter, hearing people laugh. And then if I can do that and also add some food for thought, and things people talk about afterwards, as they often tell me they have after this play, then I really feel like I've hit something that really makes me feel fulfilled and creative.
One of the most difficult jobs of a director is actually casting. What do you look for in your casting?
Well, I kind of like a certain light. I like understanding. I like to see that people understand the roles that they're up for, first and foremost. I like to see a certain familiarity that is kind of that X factor. It's hard to describe. But also I like when people come in with their own idea, something I hadn't even thought of about a part I wrote. And then I know, hey, I've got a creative process to someone to work with who can help illuminate the play that I didn't even see.
Okay. On a personal note, why did you decide to get into acting?
As my brother Gary says, it's a good thing you went into acting because there was nothing else you possibly could have done. I was never good at math or building there's just very little that very little I had an aptitude for, except for entertaining people and with magic and my writing and entertainment. So it seemed just a natural progression for me. It was almost one of those things wherein I had no choice.
A lot of people who listen to my show are community theater actors or students or just starting out. Is there any kind of advice you can give them to help them get along with their careers?
For student actors, I always say, first and foremost, you have to have a passion for it. I often go and speak at, again, for years I was the UCLA speaker about acting, and at a program called a Media Workshop there. And then the first thing I would say is, I would talk about how difficult it is to make it as an actor. Out of 1,000 actors that I know, maybe 8 of them are still at it, and let's go 6 of them make a living at it. I mean, it's that difficult. And then by the end, if I can talk them out of it, I'll feel like I have done a good thing. However, if they turn around and say, Dan, I don't care what you say, this is what I'm doing, well then, and only then should they be an actor.
Well, thank you very much, and once again, I really like this performance.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you for coming.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine, and I'm here with
Robert Warner, originally from New Jersey, live out in Hollywood now, nerd, guitarist, gamer, actor. I played Jason Wexler. Jason Wexler is a slightly neurotic Jewish 20-something from New York who falls in love with a devout Catholic girl.
This is basically a comedy. Do you fancy yourself a comedian or more of a dramatic actor?
I like to fancy myself a storyteller. So whatever kind of medium drives the story is what I like to do, and so hopefully that shines through. So if life is funny, then I hope to bring something funny. If life gets serious, then I hope to bring something serious to it.
Actually, I've been kind of deciding whether this was really a comedy or what it was, because it talked a great deal about religion, which is a very serious topic.
Yeah, that was one of the things that we tried to focus on bringing levity to, because if the situations that you're discussing are heavy, you want to present it in a lighter way. So I think it lends itself to that pretty well, but it is an interesting balance between comedy, philosophy, and falling in love.
Yeah, that's one thing I like about theater. In a sense, there's always some kind of message. You don't put up a theater piece if there's no message at all. Not like TV where you just turn it on because you need some background noise.
Right. Yeah. One of the most important things is a good conflict. You know, a good play or even a good movie or TV show should try and answer a question. This one, it was pretty blatantly what the question was, but hopefully it asks a good question and responds to it well.
So I have a question for you. Why did you decide to get into acting anyway?
Gosh, it's an adrenaline rush, so I guess it's part adrenaline junkie necessity. I love storytelling. I love taking on characters, because you kind of see the universality of things. You know, the more personal, the more universal. It's a good saying, and I can't remember who said it. But so I like to do that. I like to take on other people and see what it's like in their shoes. You know, so I think it's pretty great. Myself, I was like, oh gosh, this is so similar to me and so different to me, and so it was really fun to just kind of jump into that.
I liked your performance tonight. It was actually very realistic. It actually was very. It brought several emotional layers, which were actually pretty complex. And actually, I like the way the story unfolded itself.
Yeah, it really does. It has a natural flow to it, which is nice, and the story isn't so unrealistic. It's pretty believable, and it allows you to kind of infuse it with a lot of different moments. You know, a happy moment isn't completely happy, and a sad moment isn't completely sad. And part of the fun of being an actor is kind of getting to play with that and see, oh, where is this little bit of color that I can bring in here because it's real life, you know.
Yeah. So what do you think of the story?
I love it. You know, I do, because it still rings true. I mean, you know, and even if it's not religion that's causing a separation, you have these conflicts of people that are in so opposition to each other in certain ways, and there's always love. So I love that story. It's, you know, it brings people who are opposites, and you're like, how does that work? I don't know, but they love each other. So I love that kind of story.
Okay. Yeah, once again, I really liked your performance tonight.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine. I'm here with
Lyra Kellerman. I was born and raised in the Bay Area. I moved down to Southern California for school, and here I am in Los Angeles as an actress. I played Faith Morgan.
Okay. Could I have a brief synopsis of that character?
Yeah, she is a girl who is a completely devout Catholic who grows up loving her religion and then falls in love with a guy who is Jewish, and their religion kind of gets in the way.
So what do you think of the play?
Oh, I love it. These two people, they're of different faiths, and my parents were of different faiths, and so I'm the product of an interfaith marriage myself. So this actually, a lot of the things that they talked about really rang true to me when I was reading it for the audition.
So why did you get into acting anyway?
You know, I really loved telling stories when I was a little kid, and so for me it was always writing and producing and performing in that way, and so I'm still actually doing that now.
Usually I don't love leading characters. I mean, I usually love villains. I love character actors. I don't love leading characters because I think they're just playing themselves. This one was a little different. She actually addressed a lot of problems, a lot of issues about herself and about her faith and about, her relationship. So what do you think about that?
You know, this character is actually really kind of hard because she's such a hypocrite. She has all these views, and then when he calls them out on it, she doesn't really think for herself, oh, hey, maybe you're right, I should think more about this. She just kept firm, and I think it's a really great reflection of people today and how religion can keep others from understanding and empathizing with each other.
So what do you think about the moral of this? Well, I don't want to give away the end of the story and all that, but I do like the fact that it was actually very, it addressed the issue, and it didn't do it in a fairy tale-like way that's very, very one-dimensional. It's like, everyone just lives happily ever after. I like the fact that it brought a lot of complexity to it. What do you think? I
loved the ending, and it's one of the reasons why I wanted to do the show. I feel like it's very true to life. You really root for them, and then when you see how they decide to complete their story, it makes makes sense, and you as an audience member, I feel like you root for them, but then you completely understand why. And it's so easy to take a story like this and make it something that it's really not and would never happen. But I feel like this is a really good job of doing that.
Yeah, actually, I liked your performance. I liked the story, and I liked the ending too. So thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Hi, my name is Ashton Marcus. I'm with KUCI 88.9 FM in Irvine. I'm here with
Kathleen Hayes. I have a bachelor's from Cal State Long Beach, and I've been dancing for most of my life, and both my parents are artists. I played the rabbi.
Rabbi Myers.
Rabbi Myers is she's a rabbi. She's a female rabbi as well, which is very interesting as well. And she was able to bar mitzvah Jason. So they've known each other for a long, long time.
So what do you think of this story?
I think it's a great story. I think that it's something that's really important to talk about, actually, especially with the amount of diversity that we have right now. It's really wonderful to kind of to bring these things together and talk about them.
You played a smaller part there.
Yes.
What was that like? Basically, do you feel that it was challenging enough? Do you feel that you managed to develop a colorful enough character?
Yeah, I actually do feel like I did as well. And also, of course, there's a musical part called The Fugue that we worked very hard on as well. That I think that we did a great job on. Yeah. So yeah, we always get applause afterwards, which is very gratifying.
Yeah, I actually like that a lot too. I thought it was something. It was very similar to The Music Man.
Yes. I think that there was some inspiration there. Yes.
Why did you decide to get into acting?
Why did I? Well, here's the thing. As a child, I was into ballet, and both my parents, like I said, were artists as well. They're both musicians, and so when I was a kid, I knew that I wanted to be an artist, but I wasn't sure what kind of artist I wanted to be. So I explored everything. I actually won an award for poetry when I was like 12 years old as well, so there's that as well. So I just kind of became kind of a jack of all trades and a master of nothing, but acting is where I landed, and I love it because it's got a little bit of everything. You use a little bit of your whole brain, for acting, which is really wonderful. Yeah.
I liked your performance tonight. I liked the play. Thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you very, very much.
Sex, Faith, and Jason Wexler will be playing at Two Roads Theater from February 26th to April 3rd. For more information, go to www.tworoadstheater.com.